our Friday night football doubleheader turns the spotlight onto the fellas now for a matchup between a pair of the top area programs seeking a fast start to the season as the Madison Rams look for a fourth consecutive win over county rival Clear Fork, fresh off the program's first ever regional appearance just last fall. And you can catch all the action coming up right here live and free from StarTech Stadium, kicking its way into your tablet, smartphone, TV, or PC right here and now. I am Brian Skowronski, Jonathan Langdon, my partner here tonight. And I think arguably the two most talented teams in Richland County meeting on night number one of the season. This is a great way to find out exactly what you're made of from the jump.
This is going to be an exciting time to see these two teams go at it yet again. These two teams have been going at it for the last 4 seasons. And Madison, very good program within the OCC, and Clear Fork very good in their own right in the MOAC, in a very top-heavy conference where they held their weight, held their own, weren't able to come out on top in that conference, but had a pretty solid postseason run to back it up. So these two teams are proven. Game one, though, completely new season for both of these crews, and we'll see if they're going to need some time or if they're going to be right at it right away.
So this is the Panchos Tacos pre-game show. Love everybody out here watching Friday Night Football. The soccer, the main event here tonight. And for Clear Fork, who benefited greatly from the addition of 7 divisions, they can now hang a district championship banner for the first time ever. And against this Madison team, it's been a few years since they've been able to beat them. But certainly talking to Coach Gailey during the last game, he feels like he's got the horses to get it done.
And so do his players. They seem really confident coming into this game. And you love to see that too, because they were young last year. I would argue that they're still young this year because they've got but they do have a lot of experience coming back. And a lot of players that I'm just looking at them out on the field as they're getting introduced and remembering some of the big plays they made in the tournament run when they won that district title at Shelby. And they're back to try and make more memories for themselves in a year where they're taking on this Madison team that brings back a lot themselves, but still proving grounds here at Madison when it comes to Clear Fork on the road.
They'll have to deal with Kade Beachy, though, here tonight, only entering his junior year, but he's already been a fixture in the midfield, just like his older brother, Jaden. He's a really solid distributor, and he's a potential game breaker. Anytime he gets it, you're not exactly sure where he's going to go with the soccer ball, so he keeps you guessing, and that's why he's one of my favorite players in the area. Definitely got to keep an eye on this kid tonight if you're the Madison Rams.
He's got a lot of flair, too, to his game. He loves to show off some flashiness. He also loves to kind of just show off that confidence that he has in his game. Despite the last 2 seasons being an underclassman, now he steps up into a leadership role, and he's going to be asked to do a lot more this season, and we'll see how his confidence pairs up with that.
But the Madison Rams, I think unquestionably, Jonathan, the most anticipated soccer team in the area, boys or girls. You look at their keepers back, their top 2 playmakers return as well. They've got a coach that's got over 420 wins on his resume. So this team, highly motivated the way that the year ended. Overtime, district championship, they had the lead. They let it slip away from them late. So I really feel like for Tim Lord, this is his best chance to make a deep run in the tournament that he's probably ever had.
Yeah, and they're going to have a big chip on their shoulder with all these guys coming back and having that game kind of in the back of their minds as they go throughout every regular season game, because I feel like they're going to have kind of this mentality of every game is a playoff game and we're just going to treat it just like we did Perkins. And if they can have that mentality throughout this season, they're going to feel really good about the record they can have once this season ends and they start playing on Fridays later on in the season.
Talk about Randy Jamieson as our player spotlight. There was about 3 different guys that I was like, really? I have to pick one of these dudes because they have so many primetime players, but it's kind of hard to overlook the only returning All-Ohioan that Richland County has to offer on the boys' side of things. I mean, he runs the kitchen like a master chef. I cannot wait to see him cook out here tonight.
It's very hard to find players in the area that attribute for 50 points.
Woo!
Also 15 goals, 20 assists. This
Yes,
guy
sir.
is spectacular. I'm excited to see him play today.
But who wins and how, Jonathan? Let's dive into our keys to victory, of course, presented by our friends at Panchos Tacos. And for the Rams, how about Joey and Jameson? Team J&J out there, two super gifted athletes, a 1-2 punch that really, it's hard to stop. And then show your Wirtz, a little bit of a play on words. Mr. Wirtz back in the goal. First team All-OCC selection, all-district performer, 129 saves last year. So for me, those are the two keys for the Rams. And on the flip side for the Colts, to get it done, how about just a strong back line? You're going to have to deal with some really good offense. So you got to be solid back there. They're replacing their center backer. And then to limit the giveaways, the Rams counterattack, absolutely lethal. So can't have any dumb decision-making in the midfield. Make sure that you limit those turnovers. And I think for Clear Fork, that is how they can get it done here on the road.
And the seasons are underway for both of these two teams. Richland County's best, a lot of people have projected early in the season.
Yeah, Clear Fork was a win away. Actually had River Valley at home a chance to win the MOAC for the first time in their program history. And that was one that they're probably still not over yet, a la the Perkins game for Madison, where it just got away from them at the end of that game. They weren't able to win the conference. And so for them, that's probably a motivating factor once they do get into that MOAC portion of the season. But certainly this matchup has to be one that Coach Gailey and the boys have had circled, have not beat them over the last 3 seasons. And for Madison, it was a lot of young players 4 years ago that were in the lineup for them when Tim Lord's team fell to Clear Fork. So they've all grown up, and this is their chance to kind of culminate that and have a special senior year for a bunch of these kids out here, a veteran lineup.
So right now, a lot of pressure on the ball from Clear Fork, just trying to win it in their defensive third, or in their attacking third. So far they did it there, just couldn't capitalize in the box.
There's the senior Taylor, couple of deflections off of his shin guards. And now they're going to say the throw-in actually much closer than where they were trying to put it in. We'll have 2 officials here for this game, Scott Tem, Eric Satterfield. As they look to shift fields opposite side, big collision. Nick Martin takes a seat. Colin Faith delivering the blow, and this is where Madison can absolutely kill you. The team speed. Carter Branham out the other way. Tries to make a move, but it's a 1-on-4. Runs into that second layer. And it'll be pushed out. How about an early corner kick on the way?
And a nice replay here, too, just showing the toughness, speed, physicality, all of it that these two teams have, as quite a lot of contact between the two. Still no whistle. Might have a little bit of an aggressive game today.
Set piece. A lot of players in the mixer bowl, but instead it's to the top of the 18. Never found anybody, and now Clear Fork. Chance to try to clear. Pressure being held on, though, here. Noah Blust has it poked away. Couple of nice touches. Finn McCauley unable to track it down. Hard tackle for him, and he'll draw the whistle.
Looking back at this again, just showing the physicality we're going to see tonight. Just wearing, good job by Clear Fork there. Coy Bieri just wearing that attacker like a backpack.
This matchup will get physical. We've seen it the last couple of seasons, and especially now that, I mean, these kids they're starting to get familiar with one another. A lot of returning varsity letter winners on each side of the equation here tonight.
I remember Coach Gailey said that some of these guys have played club together, so a lot of familiarity across the board.
Big ball here near side. Joey Walker looking to turn inside. How about that touch? But the save is made, a kick save at that. Gorgeous stuff as Walker looked like he might be able to just waltz in there one-on-one with the keeper.
Yeah, and Wes Bunnell has been fantastic. He was great at the latter half of last season, and here he is already making a statement this year as a junior.
Yeah, I think Walker for sure, his eyes probably lit up there. Quick touch, too, so it was a fantastic shot. but a la kind of a hockey goalie, the kick save, able to spill it out in the first shot for Madison.
And, of course, in the district championship game, they went to penalties, and it was all on Wes Bunnell, and he delivered to send them to Marion Harding for a regional.
No call. Randy Jamieson trucks his way through. Couple of touches. Here he is one-on-one, but now with another save. 2 so far here in the early going.
But some really good looks from Madison as they get into the box again.
Drop it back. Jameson fires one hopper. 3rd save already for Wes.
There's that save again. That time just able to get the right foot on it. And then while we were in that replay, this shot happened. So Northwestern Mutual showing you that those couple angles of the saves.
And it's been Walker, Jameson already with 3 shots combined. Couple all OCC performers. Here's Beachy switching to the left foot.
And he topped it there. Just kind of dribbled it off the turf. Didn't get a clean foot on it.
But look at that. I mean, gorgeous pullback just to even set that up. Lets the defender fly by. So the star power already shining out here as the sun starting to settle down at Star Tech Stadium. Still 84 degrees. 7:15 p.m. here on your live and free coverage of Friday Night Football. And an offsides call, the first of the night. Probably see several of those on Madison. Joey Walker always trying to get an extra step, try to just tiptoe that line, and when he breaks it perfect, look out. Madison's got the guys to get it to him.
It comes down to that midfield because we're talking about Randy Jamieson. Of course, he's our spotlight for many reasons, not necessarily scoring goals. He's kind of the one that puts it on a platter for everybody. And that could be very well his role today, although defensively is where he's been tested more so far.
Yeah, about 40 assists for him the last couple of seasons. Mansfield News Journal and our good friend Jake Furr put out an article today, players to watch in Richland County this season. He voted Randy #1. I would have Joey Walker personally on my list atop, but the fact that they are 1 and 2 lets you know exactly what sets Madison apart.
And what kind of season they're going to have this year, too. Shout out to Jake as well. He is not here today because he's still taking one more vacation day. He's going to see Morgan Wallen tonight.
I couldn't afford him. I tried. Also, working kind of interferes with that and gets in the way, but he's playing tomorrow as well. And I got a wedding and I couldn't go, but I was looking at the ticket prices. Morgan Wallen's doing pretty well for himself.
He is. He is doing not too shabby at all.
Not at all. So Morgan Wallen, about $300 for the nosebleed. Do you want to know what it costs to watch this broadcast tonight, Jonathan?
I just put up a donut.
Yeah, that live and free for you guys. You already know. It probably says somewhere on here, the universe's largest high school sports streaming service. So shout out to everybody else that's trying to keep up. Not easy. We are working, though, by my count, I think with 15 schools this year. So
15. Are you specifying sport there, or is it kind of just overall?
That's at least football and volleyball for each of those schools. And then we've got 5 schools that also have soccer. And then, obviously, there's another dozen schools that we kind of freelance with that we work in and around. Madison being one of them here tonight. So big tip of the cap, of course, to Doug Rickert, the athletic director over here, and then just everybody here in Ram Country for allowing us to come out here and be a part of this, because Friday Night Football is one of my favorite days of the year. Not only is it the kickoff to the season, but it gives these fantastic athletes on the soccer pitch the chance to be under the spotlight, play under the lights on a Friday. Everybody's out here in attendance, and it truly is just it's a spectacle, man. I like doing it.
And outside of the tournament, this is probably the biggest crowd they see this year.
Yeah, could be. So Clear Fork trying to mix and match a couple of passes there in the attacking third, but the back line here for the Rams very solid. And across the board at every level for Madison, they're returning key signature contributors from the last couple of seasons. So that's where Tim Lord certainly has to probably not get any gray hairs this year. Maybe one or two. He's been in the game for a while as this is splashed out of there.
Maybe some gray hairs right there on that situation.
No question. But he's at least got one guy that he can rely on at each level, and certainly up top, Walker, Jameson, and company. I mean, no better 1-2 combo. I'd probably argue in all of Division III. Not just Richland County. Look across the state. I'd like to see a package of two players that work as well together as these two 4-year starters. Show it to me. Love to see it, Jonathan.
I don't think I could show you anything.
Do some research. Find out what else is out there. But I think the Rams do certainly boast the most fun tandem that we have. And they're going to get their second look at a set piece here. Don't want to give them too many corners.
Yeah, I just saw that corner flag get taken out. So they had to fix that, and here we go.
Line driver, back post. Got a man down. That's Jameson, writhing in pain. Had Carter Branham. He was trying to be on the receiving end. Certainly got to look at Lucas Krimzinski and what he was able to do. The sophomore defender, getting his nose in there, disrupting that one.
And, of course, we're talking about this Madison Ram team and what they've been able to do across a couple seasons, the last couple of seasons. Well, here's their schedule this year. Of course, this Clear Fork Friday night football game, but then they jump right into OCC play, just like the girls do. Talked about that in the last broadcast. But New Philly, Dover, they pretty much match the girls' schedule. It's just they play either one team plays home and then the other plays away. That's typically how it goes. But, yeah, should be a good year for Clear Fork. Some nice little challenges in that little schedule that you see on your screen.
Challenged themselves last year, too, did Madison. Got off to an awesome start. Made that deep tournament run, the deepest that they have been in quite some time, making the district championship. I think their furthest run in about 6 seasons. Tim Lord telling me in his, now I think this is his 22nd year. I think he only has one district title. That's hard to believe. However, they've had to compete in Division I most of those years. Tough sledding up there.
Yeah, so that's where you kind of see the expansion to 5 divisions and where you kind of feel happy for some of the programs that were stuck in Division I, just like Madison, and just were never able to get over that hump. So it's one of the bright sides of what some of the decisions OHSA has made with fall sports, I guess all sports in general, kind of expanding on those divisions, but gives more opportunity across the board.
Walker tried to hold up on that one, and here comes Jace Feeman, able to at least pull it out for what's going to be a throw-in for Madison.
But I like this game so far. It feels like possession's pretty close to 50-50, maybe leaning more towards the Madison side of things. But good opportunities left and right.
Big throw-in. Just hanging out there in the box. No clearance by Coy Berry. Till right there. And for Madison, too, nobody really applying too much pressure, so just kind of hanging tight as it's deflected, and we're going to get a Clear Fork throw-in. Nick Martin jumped on the headset with us during the girls' game. Actually heard from 4 different Clear Fork players throughout that session, and it just feels like a completely different team and program this year than last. Just the confidence when you come with district defending champion on your resume. I mean, you're probably going to walk out with a bit more swagger, and especially when you've got this many kids that were a part of that team all back out here for a lot of junior and senior seasons.
Yeah, we got a foul here, and Clear Fork's got a nice little spot for a free kick.
Second foul on Madison, just inside the 20-yard line. Got Martin on the ball for now. 4 players all flanked out across the 18. And he's just going to take dead aim and nearly put it top corner.
Went for the Taylor Huff special right there. 10 yards, a little bit closer in, but still awfully close, trying to get that top bin.
So still sitting 0-0 on our Mechanics Bank scoreboard. 5 total shots. Madison with 3 great looks right away, but West Bunnell able to secure saves on each of them. I see more than 100 of you out there all watching together, live and free. Friday Night Football kicking off the season, and I can confirm that our other coverage going down over at Ashland tonight, that Ontario was victorious 3-0 in the girls matchup. And for the fellas, we'll have some updates as well. Let you know how that one is shaking out. But I think that's a huge win for Ontario. You start looking up and down in north central Ohio of who's going to be the top threats to the Lady Warriors. Ashland's going to be in their district this year with the restructuring. Many thought that might be the second best team in the area, so Ontario with a statement win.
And with Madison's loss and Clear Fork's significant win, how does that change things? Does that shake things up? Does Ontario stay at 2, or do they slide up a bit? I think that first Clear Fork, that girls game that we saw earlier today really changed the perspective on where Richland County's at on the girls soccer side.
Beachy looking for a give and go, a lot of pressure. He'll accept, here he is, shake and bake, lets one launch. And I think that was kind of in between, maybe just kind of throw something towards the net, have somebody bending in back post. That was Barry. So we'll count that as a shot in the third here for the Colts.
But hey, if I'm both of these coaches, I'm happy with how both of them have come out today. Maybe the one thing that Coach Gailey would want to see is some shots on goal compared to the looks they've had that have missed just wide.
Sure.
But I feel like both sides playing their way, just like we were kind of teased at in the girls' game, talking with some of the Clear Fork players. They're not shying away from this Madison group, and they are keeping the foot on the pedal.
And we've got our first audience question of the season for you guys. Better venue. Two fantastic ones here in Richland County as Jameson moving his way right down the pitch. He'll back it up to the middle. Here's a Walker on lows, but Bunnell, right place, right time. His forced save.
Yeah, so nice threatening position, but Clear Fork able to get back, force enough bodies to be in the vicinity to force a rougher shot from Madison. Not too good of a look. But yeah, going back to that question, this is my first time here at StarTech Stadium. Not too shabby. It's also an added plus that it's the closest facility to my former home, I guess, now that I moved out. But if I was here a year ago and we were here a little bit more often, this would probably be up there for me. But I still got to go with the Colt Corral, I think.
Let us know. Get your comments in. Colt Corral versus StarTech Stadium. Can't really go wrong. I do like both venues, and I love the gatekeeper ram at the end. That's just keeping an eye on everything here. Clear Fork did on their scoreboard this year. It's new. Now they've got a nasty Colt looking atop that's overlooking the valley, and I told Jess Brokaw last night, probably got to get maybe some pyrotechnics up there, a little bit of some smoke that's coming out of the nostrils of the Colt. So in due time, I think they're all going to figure out how to make that a big attraction. But certainly two awesome venues so far. I'm told liability, pyrotechnics, maybe not a good idea. Lucas does have fireworks every Friday night.
And Mount Gilead has the flashing lights for the touchdowns.
Yeah, I guess Lucas is kind of off campus. And I unfortunately heard Hillsdale was able to raise like 20 grand from the community for fireworks for homecoming. And Jeromesville shut them down. Not going to get it. Can't shut this down. It's our player spotlight, Randy Jamieson. He's got one heading out to the flag for the celebration, and the Rams lead here at home. So about 18 minutes into the match, one of the most exciting players, according to Jake Fur, the dude to watch here in Richland County. And
well, that was pretty exciting.
Mostly a distributor, but how about Joey? Look at the foot skills just to be able to set this up, and this is why they play very well off of one another. They've just got it dialed in like they were twins in the womb together. They know where they're going to be. Boom.
It
Ram
seems
strike.
like Madison just followed the script right there. That's exactly how everybody expected the season to start, to see those two contribute with each other towards a Madison goal to start their season with a lead.
Thing of beauty here for the Rams at home. And they've kind of had the run and play here. Right around 55% of the total possession here in the early portion of the match. And they just look poised. Most of these kids have been at least 3-year contributors at the varsity ranks. Handful of them 4-year starters, which is unheard of. So that's why they're out here, and the connectivity, it is noticeable, folks. It's going to be a throw-in coming up here near side. Jaden Lacey into Finn McCauley. Heavy touch there off the initial contact, so it's taken away by Branham.
Interesting to note, Brian, our producer Adam's been doing some homework as we've been talking, and this game's been moving along. He just asked ChatGPT the best soccer duo in the MOAC, OCC, our entire area, and it actually did come up with Joey Walker and Jameson. So ChatGPT knows ball. That's what we're trying to say.
Okay. There you have it, folks. And AI typically doesn't lie. It's just based on the facts. So I think we can just say validated, at least for our area. Chipped into some space, a little undercut. Defended nicely that time by Lucas. Rams regain possession quickly here with Taylor in the midfield. He'll drop it back. Now Jameson looking to make his move. He'll flip it forward. Walker beyond the defense. Wow, no offsides call, and nearly had an empty net situation. Coy Berry got there just in the nick of time.
And that's the risk you run with a guy like Bunnell that loves to kind of run out when he sees his back line in trouble. But good backup there by Beery and able to get that out for a throw-in. Madison will have to regroup.
See what kind of arm we have on Colin Faith. He's able to get it into the box. But an instant whistle comes in. It'll be a foul against the Rams. They're third here in the first 20 minutes. And I'm not sure if they're going to shut it down for a water break like they did for the ladies here. This was the exact moment in the first game tonight that they did that. So
by rule, I'm not sure what the threshold is temperature-wise, but it has cooled down just a little bit. It's about 83 right now. It was 85 throughout that entire girls' game. So that could very well be that threshold. And I don't know if it's a thing where they kind of meet up at the beginning and decide whether or not they're going to have that or what the case is between the coaches. But we're just cruising along here. 7:30 as game 2 is Madison in the lead, 1-0.
excellent opportunity to try to layer on top of that too. Jameson on the ball, fresh off the second foul for Clear Fork. Here he goes, back post, tracking. Little ahead of Walker, just behind Branham.
And now this is where I'm curious to see what Clear Fork does, because they're down 1-0 now. Of course, they said they wanted to play their identity. They wanted to play their brand of football. And what does that goal change things is the question. And so far, we've seen a lot of players back up into that box to try and defend here for Clear Fork.
Branham with a swing and a miss. Tried to time it up beautifully like that one right there from Ashton Taylor. And he flares it just to the left of net. 6 shot already here for the Rams.
And there's some nice oomph on that shot. Just missed to the left. And to my eyes, it looked awfully close.
Seventeen and a half minutes to go here in half number 1. Rams looking for their 4th straight win over Clear Fork on opening night. They'll get to this 50-50 ball. As Taylor drops it back. Give and go action absorbed here by Clear Fork, at least for the moment. Now it's Walker. He'll make his move right in the middle and just bodies all around. Trying to make it tough on Joey and company when they get into that attacking third. Nice takeaway here by A.J. Swindle. He'll push it forward. Beachy on the fly. And he'll get beat to the punch by Jordan Clark. Throw-in, though, deep in enemy territory on the way here for the Colts.
Solid weight on that pass, looking for the new upperclassman Beachy. But as you said, nice job by Clark to kind of just stay with him. Of course, he's outmatched in the speed category up against Beachy, but able to use his size and kind of stay on him, just as he did right there.
Kind of settled right down at the feet there of Jaden Lacey. Wasn't able to get too much sriracha on it. Thought he might be able to pepper that one on net. So it's a simple save. Jerry Wirtz. And it says when the heat index here, above 95, they start taking those water breaks. I think this is last touched by Cooper Brokaw. So should be a corner kick opposite side from the first two came here for Madison, and it will be.
Not too many corners in this game, and not too much has built up from the corners that they have had. But different side. Could be a different look. Big crowd in the box for the Colts.
They'll play it short. Give and go. Jameson punches it in there, just trying to create some mayhem right in front of the net. And now it's going to be cleared out of there by the Colts. Blistered the other way by Feeman. On the fly, here's Martin. Got a little handsy there with the push-off. He's a big physical player. This might warrant a yellow.
He's going to get waved over by this official, and it looks like, yep, it's going to be the first booking of the game. Full two-handed shove. Looked pretty clear from up here. But, I mean, you can't knock that yellow card simply because he's trying to fight for position. If he can win that battle, he's one-on-one with the keeper, and that could have been 1-1.
And I think that's what Clear Fork needs to do to succeed. That was one of their best opportunities. One-on-one with the defender. Allow one of your speedy seniors to try to go make a play. Martin, just a little overzealous there. And anytime you get that full extension, kind of like a holding penalty in football, referees, they're going to see this one just about every time, even if there's only two of them at the park.
So Nick is the first booking we see here this season. Chatted with us in the last game.
He's a pretty fiery kid, one of the heartbeats of the team. Filming the hype trailers with him earlier this week on Monday. You could tell that Nick Martin's one of those guys that everyone kind of looks to set the stage. Pretty outgoing cat.
Big energy guy.
That's what he brings, but right now saddled over on the sideline after that yellow. But with this fourth foul against Madison, allows Beachy, Sem 1, top of the box, staying alive out there. And last touched here by Clear Fork. Well done by Jordan Clark. Here's Jordan letting it settle. Misplayed that one. And now here's Beachy. Here's Kade double teamed. Whistle coming. I think the extra pressure from Branham is going to lead to a free kick here for the Colts and pretty solid angle.
Yeah, and that's why you don't give up, especially in a time like that where, yeah, you're in a 1v3 situation, but if you can win something and pass the pressure along, good things happen.
Lacey had a shot at it. It was bent back post that time by Beachy. But for Madison, this is what sets them apart from everybody else in the area, is just that ability to be on defense. And now you see me. Now we're on the other end. All of a sudden, we're on the attack. They'll draw another quick whistle here. Shuts down the threat. Fifth infraction here against the Rams in this opening half with 13 minutes and change to go.
And we're not live with the other game that we're covering tonight between Ontario and Ashland, but the score is 1-1 between those two on the boys' side. And it looks like I got this text 10 minutes ago, so about 10 minutes to go there in that half.
That was a really interesting game to me. I have zero scouting report on Ashland, but Ontario, very young. They've got Jace Young as well, that one of the better distributors that we have in North Central Ohio, all-MOAC performer last year. See if he's able to rise to the occasion and lead his team to victory on the road. We're going to have a lot of Ontario soccer coverage this year, certainly for the girls. Have a highlight of pretty much every game. This one chipped into the box, measured nicely. Walker catches up, turns it back, left foot knocked out of there by Wes. Wow, he has had some Superman-style saves.
And this, another instance of him kind of coming off of his line. Not typical from a goalkeeper, but he makes it work because he's got a big frame. He can reach around and kind of just be a pest and kind of annoy those players as he makes another save.
Yeah, we'll spin that back. We'll show you the Northwestern Mutual replay. Just Joey Walker, we are not worthy. Ridiculous action to set up the shot and another save. So it's going to be corner kick number 5. 4 of them have been down on this side. So the Rams starting to get a feel for it. As Julius Walker got it teed up. He'll play it short. Jameson, I think, tried to just step over top, leak it through. And we got a goal kick.
Despite this barrage that we've seen from Madison, it's a 1-0 game. Got to just keep playing your way. If you're Clear Fork, try to get into some attacking positions. They had some solid looks about 5 minutes ago. So the Colts, by no means out of this yet.
It's going to go out of bounds right near the midfield. And unlike the girls' game today, both benches have been used pretty sparingly.
That's pretty typical on the boys' side that you kind of have your 11 guys and maybe 1 or 2 that might come on occasionally, but you're sticking with those 11 that you know are your best options on the field.
This is a huge whistle right here. If we're going to get a dangerous play, that's in the box there on Cooper Brokaw. Felt like he was trying to get out of the way there of Ashton.
And now the clock stops, so it looks like we may potentially see a card here or something, maybe just trying to handle this scuffle.
Well, I think Satterfield and Tim just need to talk about it because this is a game-changing call right here. If they're going to issue it against Brokaw, this would lead to, I believe, a direct kick. So what an interesting situation inside the box. This is a rare one where you get that dangerous play call. So Clear Fork's going to set up a 4-man wall. Madison's going to try to sneak in a player behind it.
And they're leaning towards the left side, so that near side post. So that right side could potentially be open, but Bunnell's going to cover it more.
Set up. Here's Walker. Bends it. He had the curve going. Just needed about 2 more feet. And he kind of should have snuck that one in. But you saw the look on his face. He's like, oh, my.
But, yeah, I love it when soccer's like that, when you can kind of get kind of a free kick style inside of the box. That's beautiful soccer right there on both sides. Good defense from Clear Fork. They covered pretty much 95% of that goal, but that 5% was right there for the taking, just couldn't get it in.
Colts dodge a little bit of a bullet right there as the lead remains just 1-0 here on our Mechanics Bank scoreboard. But the Rams taking shape with more activity in the box. Blast off. And that one going to make its way probably out of StarTech Stadium. Walker certainly got a powerful right leg.
But you need more than 3 guys to stop Joey Walker. Just in that instance alone, he's been really good, not just in his entire career, but today he's starting to heat up.
Short break for Beachy. He's back into the middle. Well-conditioned kid. Doesn't need a lot of breaks out there. First contact off the lid. It'll roll back here. Back line for Madison. Been able to get themselves out of trouble more often than not so far here tonight. To nobody in particular, though, so Feeman Able to get it to the feet of Beachy. Tried to blow by the defender. Nathan Evans stood his ground.
Nice battle between Beery and looks like it was Zachary Davies kind of going at each other there. And it's going to be a Colt throw. We're under 10 minutes left here in the first half.
And don't let the bleachers on the far side deceive you. I see a lot of Clear Fork fans over here on the home side just because you're not looking into the sun. And a couple of Colt legends. Blue Ball was sitting just in front of us a while ago. I see Annika Labaki as well here in the house. And that's what's really cool about LCP and what they've been able to do is a lot of former players tend to come back, represent, keep supporting the team. So they go backside, trying to shield off the defenders. Madison looking to get another shot. West steps up, gets a left foot on it.
So, Brian, a couple questions for you. Just coming from the comments section today. First off, Josh Young in our comments on YouTube says, soft yellow on this side. So, a little bit of, super soft yellow in the comments. My producer fixing me there. But also got a question from DJ Moore. Strength of the MOAC this season. What do you think here on the boys soccer side?
Clear Fork is the team to beat. I don't think that there's any debate about that. I know River Valley is the defending champs, but they were senior laden last year. So you look from top to bottom. Ontario, certainly I expect to compete as they miss by just a half inch there. Easton Grant almost had this one gift wrapped. Bunnell a little bit out of position as we've seen a couple times tonight, but they don't connect. So I think Clear Fork, pretty heavy favorite to win the MOAC for the first time this year.
Which would be really exciting if that does happen, just considering the fact that history that this team has, the history they're making right now as a group, just adding one more piece to the puzzle because these players that are out on the field, they're going to have a lot to brag about. When they are done with their playing careers here at Clear Fork, especially if they can get that MOAC title.
Yeah, and certainly it's been Ontario's dominated the league for years and years and years. However, I believe they do have the youngest roster in Richland County. So Stephen Armstrong, he's got his work cut out for him this year. I'm looking forward to talking to him in a couple of weeks, seeing how things are going for him and the productivity of, like, a lot of freshmen are probably going to be breaking into the lineup for Ontario, and that has not been the norm here of late. So the MOAC, I'm not going to say it's a one-horse race, but certainly the team with the horse as a logo is going to be near the front of the pack all year.
Do you think that Ontario team is the one team that could play spoilers, or do you think there's another team that could come out of the ashes and potentially get some history themselves?
Well, I look forward to seeing some of the other members of the league that traditionally have not been in the conversation. River Valley has been that third team the last few years, so do they keep the tradition alive and going? After you win a championship, it changes the way that you're approaching things and you look at things. We talked to Coach Gailey before the game. He's now a district championship winning coach. He felt like these players that are now district champions come with a little bit more cachet out to the practice field, and the environment, it has changed. So I would put Ontario, Clear Fork, and River Valley in the top half. And certainly, this is the team to beat in the OCC, the Madison Rams, who ran roughshod through the league last year. Their 17 victories. Think they're probably a favorite to not just win the league, but do it undefeated again.
And they could potentially win some state this year.
Love to see it. Yeah, I followed their tournament run last year, and I know that it was absolute, just crushing defeat, that overtime loss to Perkins. Couple of headers, trying to splash it out of their defensive ends. Not for long here for the Colts, though ping pong around. Now Swindle trying to reverse Fields, but Madison, they have been crushing in the 50-50 game so far here tonight. Jameson with a head and shoulders fake, nobody bites, and I mean, it is like moss just all flying over to a light anytime that he gets near the attacking third. White jerseys are finding him. And that's what's opened things up for some of the players on the backside so far for Madison.
Yeah, the one goal scored so far today was just a lapse in that back four for Clear Fork, where they let one just go right through them. and it ended up at the feet of Jameson, who ended up scoring the first goal of the game. But other than that defensive lapse, we've been very even.
Give and go. White goal. Beachy out wide. Kind of misplayed right there. Was a rare opportunity so far here in the early portion of the match for the Colts, and Beachy couldn't handle it. Now they're offside.
Yeah, so that was Kade Beachy, who got that pass to the far side, had a chance to potentially get into the box and have a good shot, but sophomore not able to contain himself, maybe a little bit of nerves coming into this game. And that he'll just have to shrug that off, keep going.
Certainly got to capitalize, or at least get attempts here on Jerry Wirtz, multi-year starter. And looking to get some more goal support here. Joey Walker, touchline, tried to set it up in the middle. Had Easton tracking the play, but corner kick number 6 coming up for the Rams.
If you're the Rams, you want to try to get Walker some more opportunities, not at the numbers here on this field, because once he gets closer to goal, that angle tightens up. Can't really do much, especially when he's getting double, triple teamed by the time he gets into the end zone here on this football field where they get to play today for Friday Night Football. So Walker, try to get him more centralized than he has been early in this game.
Tee it up just right, looking for that Goldilocks effect out there on the turf. Here is Randy, and he's going to put it into the mixing bowl, the header. And that is lobbed wide of net. Goal kick coming up, and another decent look for the Rams here. They haven't been able to capitalize off a corner kick, but certainly they're applying a lot of pressure. And these Colts, even though they're veterans, they're aging out here in this first half.
And that's exactly why I believe Clear Fork puts a team like Madison on the schedule in this instance to start out a season, because the bar's set high for the rest of the opponents that they play this year, because Clear Fork is going to be battle-tested by the time these 80 minutes are up.
A lot of contact out here. Pretty good battle. Loss of footing. Walker tried to punch it in. Another kick save. That's about 4 by my count so far here from Wes. And he is definitely doing his part to keep them in the match here. Here's Walker again, one-on-one. And, wow, I didn't even notice in real time. Actually stuck out the right paw and got just enough of it.
We're going to have a nice little reel of saves for West today by the end of this one. He has been right on it. Only let one through for the Rams, and Colts still have an opportunity to tie this up potentially before half. We've only got a minute to go.
5 saves for West. Excuse me. Yeah, no, 5, but 4 of them really premium. He has saved what could be at least a 2-3 goal advantage here for the Rams. They've been putting a lot of pressure on and still got 28 seconds to try to do something here as Walker gets held on to there by AJ. And they're actually going to whistle Joey here. 7th infraction against the Rams. I think for Clear Fork, they're just happy to get it out of harm's way, and maybe they can get a look of their own. But Jordan Clark shuts it down. Jameson with a truck stick of Brokaw here to close out the first half strong. Madison in control, and boom. It's football season. It's here, baby. We are at the half. We've got your stats analysis coming up here after a commercial timeout.
They just gave a yellow card to Jameson, by the way, for that last hit.
The good news, at least, though, if you're Tim Lord, I don't think he has to sit out. So you'll take that. And that was, can we see that truck stick one more time? That was a heck of a hit. Maybe Madison football program might want to turn this on and show what it looks like. And I think that's deserving of, hey, Young out there. Mr. Young in the comment section, is that a weak yellow card? You tell us. Questions for you now, buddy. We'll be back here at the half in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
Looking for the best high school sports coverage in Ohio? You found it right here on the OH Report. From the field to the court, we've got it all. OH Report brings you local coverage like nobody else in the area, live and free. Follow OH Report now and never miss a moment of the action. Don't just watch, be a part of the game with OH Report, the future of local sports.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
I like being able to give back to the community, and just our teamwork is really solid. It makes it an incredible place to work because a lot of people enjoy what they're doing and want to help out.
You get to learn every day. You get to meet very unique people. I get to interact with everyone from the clinical staff to the administrative staff. Everyone has something to offer. It's kind of like a million puzzle pieces coming together to make one large, beautiful piece.
Every time that we walk in, we know we're going to walk into a place that's very clean, and when we walk in, we have a professional environment to come to. The reliability of Pinnacle is always on the spot. We've been with them 16 years so far. They're committed, they are professional, they are very transparent with their pricing, and they excel at meeting every goal and every need we have.
You are enjoying live and free boys high school soccer to kick off the season thanks to our friends at Mechanics Bank, Richland County's only independent community bank. Avita Home Health and Hospice. Elevate your where they provide high-quality community health care and improve the quality of health in families throughout their lifespan. Pinnacle Building Services. Elevate your professional space with tailored cleaning solutions that promise unmatched quality and reliability. North Central State College, your MVP sponsor, is providing individuals with the knowledge, skills, and inspiration to succeed in their chosen path. Northwestern Mutual, for a better way to money, contact financial rep Jalen Reese and wealth management advisor Mike Cohen at your local Mansfield office. And last but not least, our friends at Panchos Tacos. Come on down, try the best food and drinks located in Mansfield, Bellville, and now Mount Vernon. Try some amazing tacos. They've got rice bowls, fajitas, and of course, margaritas. See you after the game, amigos. Welcome inside the halftime show, brought to you by Panchos Tacos Mexican Restaurant, with locations all over the place, right here in the great city of Mansfield, where the Rams call home. The team on top in the scoreboard right now, 1-0. Also, where Clear Fork calls home in Bellville. They've got a fantastic location that I go to probably far too often, and now in Mount Vernon. I am Brian Skowronski. I've got Jonathan Langdon joining me here tonight. It's been a fun affair so far. Two fantastic Richland County programs going head-to-head. Madison, we felt like, had the horses this year, probably the most talented team, maybe not just in Richland County, but all of North Central Ohio. A big favorite to win the OCC and probably win here on opening night. And so far, I think they're checking a lot of the boxes and showcasing exactly what we all kind of thought we'd see.
Yeah, and it also helps when you can field an entire starting 11 of seniors, which they did today. They have 12 seniors on the squad, and all who will likely be big pieces to what they do this year. But so far, showing off, showing everybody right now why they are the team to beat in Richland County and potentially in Division III, one of the top options when it comes to who's going to end up playing at Historic Cruise Stadium at the end of the year. But I think you got to give all the credit to Clear Fork as well, because they're really hanging in tight, and also got to give credit to Bunnell, the goalkeeper for the Colts, because he has made some really, really good saves. Could potentially be a 3, maybe even 4-0 game without some of the plays he's made.
100% right now. The difference is a Randy Jamieson goal at the 22-10 mark, but as you were alluding to, that's probably finding its way to the back of the net more often than not. That was right at the beginning of the game. There was an onslaught of 3 great shot opportunities for Madison, as we'll show you these first half stats and dive into it. Double-digit shots so far for the Rams. Plenty of those have been on net. I should say. Wes has been up to the challenge, though, as you look at saves of 5 of those 6 shots on frame. And Madison controlling a lot of the midfield. We thought perhaps Kade Beachy would have a couple of moments so far. Early on in the contest, in the first 5 minutes, he did. He set something up in front of goal. Other than that, I think you credit not just the midfield for Madison, but also the back line. I want to specifically shout out Jordan Clark for man-marking him when he gets inside of the 20-yard line. They've been able to clog up that middle a little bit, and just not a lot to be had for the Colts, just 2 shots on net.
And that's a good component to a great team compared to a good team, where you have that guy in the back line where you can say, all right, you're going to guard that best player. You're going to mark him whenever he touches the ball in the attacking third. So if we can see Jordan Clark do that throughout this season at a consistent rate, that is going to prove good for this Madison squad that wants to make a deeper run in the postseason than they did last year.
There is the goal by Jameson, coming about 18 minutes into the match. If he's one-on-one with the keeper, forget about it. You can pretty much chalk it up. Number 1 on the Richland County players returning to watch list, according to Jake Furr, and the only All-Ohioan in Richland County that's back for another season. I have no idea how Joey Walker did not make the grade with 32 goals, 12 assists on a 17-win team last year. That is absolute blasphemy, if you ask me. The OCC Player of the Year doesn't get an All-Ohio nod. I don't know who's out there voting, but certainly they didn't get it right, in my opinion.
Yeah, they certainly have something against North Central Ohio, but I just feel like this year, with these 2 teams specifically, they could prove a lot of people wrong from that All-Ohio selection last year, because neither of these teams had anybody, I believe, in the All-Ohio team, unless Walker or Jameson were able to find their way on it. But yeah, so I think Richland County overall, they're going to see a boost, especially I'm looking at that News Journal article that you have up right now from Jake Furr. Shout out to him. Those top 3 guys could probably all find themselves on an All-Ohio team and potentially see if Kade could have a big year for Clear Fork and also find his way there.
Kade Beachy listed at number 4 on players to watch, coming off of an 8-goal, 12-assist season. He was our player spotlight tonight for a reason, and a guy that he understands ball. Talking to him, he was on the headset for a couple of minutes as we get this one on the splash pad. West comes out, big collision, and the lob through the uprights. Carter Branham going 100 miles an hour head-to-head with Wes Bunnell, who's a big, strong kid. He waited until the last moment, and he made his break right when he needed to.
And he got the ball first, so you can't say that that's a foul. And even if it was outside of the box, so even though if it was a foul, likely could have been a potential yellow, definitely a yellow, maybe even a red card, just because he was the last man before the goal. But great job by Bundle to get the foot on the ball first, as I thought Madison just decided to catch a ball, but I didn't hear a whistle. Clear Fork's going to get a chance here.
AJ's going to set it down right at the football 45-yard line. 7 Colts press forward. Only Joey Walker up top, hanging back right now for Madison. It looked like he got a little chunky on the delivery. Beachy with the shot fired. Blown straight up and into the hands of Wirtz. Hasn't had to do a lot so far in this game, but we're talking about a kid with almost 130 saves last year. And for a team that was as competitive as Madison was and actually dominant in a lot of instances, the way that they play, it leaves you naked on that back line sometimes where just you're going to have some one-on-ones, and we saw Jerry Wirtz stand up to the challenge more often than not a season ago. Three headers, nearly 4 in a row. As it settles on the turf, now taken by Branham.
What a ball right there, but Bunnell was all over it.
Hit that one a half mile high.
And that's probably what West does the best, is just simply reading what's going on out on the pitch and knowing when to go out of goal. That's something that a lot of high school keepers struggle with, just kind of having a feel for the game. But Wes, not that kind of guy.
Big throw-in, tracking underneath it. But drawing the foul that time is Ashton Taylor. Second foul, 12th overall here against Madison. Really physical team, and that's what you're going to get when you're all seniors out there. I mean, these are just dudes that have been around. You're bigger, you're stronger when you're 17, 18. Final chance to really leave your mark. And sometimes that comes in the literal sense.
And sometimes when you say like the actual ages instead of kind of their classes, it kind of puts it into perspective that it's a team full of 17, 18-year-olds taking on some 14s, 15s that make their way out onto the field for Clear Fork. But that's the beauty of high school sports, because sometimes you can see some of those younger guys that you don't put a number to put on some shows.
Beachy certainly was that the last couple of seasons. A 3-year starter, just a junior. Pushes this one out in front, a bit too far for Cal Berry on the chase. And the challenge goes the way of the Rams. Shot forward, boy, what a ball. Split a couple defenders, found its way to Branham. And he's going to draw the foul down here in the corner, but check this out. About a 5-hopper, nearly left him one-on-one with the keeper.
But Coy Bieri is really holding his own on that side. He was doing great things in the first half. He continues to do so there as he draws a foul to get out of that tight situation.
Swindle off the restart, sidewinder, taken by Martin. Keeps it into the middle of the pitch. A lot of green in front of him, directing traffic. Here comes Nick, setting it up, and too much sauce behind that one. Jaden Lacey, the senior, just couldn't track it down. Colts have been unable to truly strike on a counterattack, something that when I saw Madison last year, they're a bit susceptible to it. Colts have not been able to burn it down like we're seeing right here with the Rams. Getting out in space, what a pass up top, Walker. But Bunnell again, Johnny on the spot. Comes in handy all the way out to the very edge of the 18. And how about the physicality, man? It is turning up out here as we get a whistle against the Colts. That's going to be their first foul of the second half, but 4 total already in the first 5 minutes.
But hey, I'll tell you what, that's a pristine slide in the box. That's always risky whenever you go down to the ground, but that one worked out for the Clear Fork keeper.
Pile driver set up goal number 2. It is in there, both belonging to the captain. Randy Jamieson just settled down right where the ball ended up. One of the easier goals that he is going to enjoy all season long.
Yeah, that was just a case of right place, right time. The wall did their job for Clear Fork, got a deflection, but that deflection ended up right at the lap of Randy Jamieson, and he does the rest. Scores the first 2 goals of the season here for the Rams.
More of a facilitator a season ago. Looking for his, bit more aggressively so far here tonight. And Clear Fork now in a 2-0 deficit. Have to get a bit more aggressive here offensively. This is the man to do it. Yeah, solid turn. Back to the left foot. Just hasn't been able to dial up great passes to the boundaries so far. I like what Kade has done in the middle of the field. Just has not been hunting very well on the perimeter.
It's kind of the inverse of what we saw in the girls' game. Clear Fork was really doing a good job connecting passes. Madison not so much, but on the flip side here in the boys' game.
Speaking of flipping, how about Joey? Between a couple defenders, through traffic, off the setup from Julius. And the Rams keeping on some heavy pressure. Here's Walker, goes touchline.
Nice physicality, but Walker's going to get flagged for that one.
Back and forth, he and Barry. Just got a little bit grippy here, right there. Heavy touch, got away from him. All he could do to try to field off Coy.
And there's a yellow card. I think it was for some talking afterwards. Here, you'll see it. Maybe not even just talking, just on the play itself. But that's the reputation that Barry has built up throughout this game, because he's been the one that's been really aggressive with these attackers for Madison. So you could kind of tell that was coming throughout the progression of this game.
It is a younger back line this year for Clear Fork. Now with Liam Beer graduated, he erased a lot of mistakes for him a season ago. Big, strong kid, won a lot of balls out of the sky. So for Nate Gailey, that might be one area that they're probably trying to figure out here early on in the season. Some go-to guys, maybe a sub or two, as McCauley's able to win this battle, at least momentarily, but then a push, and this might be a card as well. Lucas Swenger hitting the deck, comes in, some nice sportsmanship.
Yep, you can see the extension on that shove from Finn McCauley. So he gets another card, so should be evened up at 2 in that category.
Actually, they're not going to, it was just a stern talking to. So sometimes when they wave the player over, it is just to, hey, if I see it again, it's going to be a card. Anything borderline, and you're heading over to the sideline. So I think I prefer when officials just talk it out, give them another chance. I'll side with what they just did right there. It didn't seem as egregious as what we saw right before the first half whistle. Speed on display. Carter trying to chase it down, leaving Cooper in his wake, but the whistle, a little late, I think.
It's starting to get a little more active here in the second half, too. That's a lot of stoppages here in the last 2 minutes or so.
And for Madison, they've already matched their number of infractions here in the first 8 minutes as they did the first 40.
But to circle back to your take on Clear Fork's back line, not a single senior plays defense for this Colts team. So that, of course, we're talking about Clear Fork and how they're going to be a threat in the MOAC. If there's any gap that they really have is the youth in the back.
They do have this guy. He's been the ultimate eraser tonight. He's allowed a couple of goals. He has saved many others, folks. As you'll see here on the Northwestern Mutual replay. Just making his break. Perfect timing. And what's interesting about Wes is that he did not get the start in net until maybe even beyond the midway point last year.
Yeah.
They had Sam Swindell back there. Zane Atkinson had some time. Hayden Wilson started the season and was there for a big portion. And Wes, who's a great player in the field as well, I think they just determined that he had a knack for playing keeper, as there's a hard tackle here. And McCauley's going to get a quick issued yellow card, and that's what I'm talking about. He got the talking to, second aggressive play in the next couple of minutes, you're out. So let's just show you how things have really ratcheted up in terms of the physicality here.
These are the last 4 replays that we have queued up.
Nice save there again from Wes. He smokes that thing too off the punts.
Yeah, and then just a little bit of contact, just kind of tugging at the jersey, not giving a good opportunity. And then this is a big tackle right here.
And I think he comes away with a lot of the ball there. So maybe not as bad as it looks from our vantage point until you slow it down. Still, the referee determined, Mr. Satterfield, that just trying to make sure things don't get out of hand. They'll allow the physicality to a certain extent. Temperature starting to settle down now with that sun out of the equation. It's dipping into probably the high 70, 79, 80 degrees right now. So it's more comfortable soccer weather. And I feel it here in the booth, certainly now. We're not cooking like we were earlier. Yeah, and you see that the umbrellas have been put away on the side of the visitors. So we should be in for a great next half hour of soccer, and especially the way that these two teams have been going at it here lately. Jameson, measured perfectly, and Julius Walker sends it home. 3-0 Madison here at home.
And you got to love that pump fake he put on Bunnell, because he has been saving everything. Well, sometimes he anticipates a little too much, was thinking a cross was going to go across the face of goal. Instead, it's a shot right by his legs from Julius Walker.
What a display here from Randy Jamieson. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Jake Furr was right, putting him at number 1 on the list. 2 goals and assists. He's accounted for all the scoring so far, and you're absolutely right. A little head and shoulder fake kind of right there. West goes diving one way, the ball goes the other, and then, yeah, buddy, celebrate here at home.
And sadly, Cardinals' sin of keeping was broken there, got beat near post.
So a large deficit now here for Clear Fork, an inverse of what we saw in the girls' game tonight, where the Lady Colts jumped out to a 3-0 lead. However, we saw the Madison Lady Rams. They responded. They had a nice little stretch right after that. So we'll see if we get some deja vu here. More time remaining in this one for Clear Fork to try to dig themselves out of this hole, but certainly the way that Madison has dominated the ball, it is not going to be an easy task.
And I think with Clear Fork right now, there just mental lapses going on right now with the score being as lopsided as it is, because Bunnell just let that ball go out of bounds and it ended up being a corner here for Madison. So just kind of keep playing like it's 0-0. Try to just slowly chip your way back in.
Ashton flips it into the box. Right.
Was that a double
the
doink?
top.
That went off the crossbar and then onto the upright. Look at this.
It's like a trick shot. Couldn't do that again in 100 tries.
Yeah.
And now Madison again, first to get to the ball, creating some space.
Offside?
Yeah, I didn't see it myself, but that is the whistle. Third offsides call against the Rams so far here tonight. And off the restart, Madison wins possession. But they'll quickly give it away. Goal kick coming up here for Clear Fork.
So that's a rough stretch from the Colts, but just got to shrug it off and just try to get it out of the defending third. That's where it's been quite a bit here in the last couple minutes. And I'll just got to try and find her teammates, because it feels like on these boots, there's a handball by McCauley, but just not able to get to that midfield and get any solid passing like you had in the first half.
And I think for Clear Fork, if you're Coach Gailey, you're probably not thrilled Kade Beachy, Nick Martin, Finn McCauley. You kind of thought that you had 3 dynamite players that would come out and hold their own, create a lot of activity, a la what we're seeing here from the Jameson, Walker combination. Certainly you would throw Branham in there as well. Just not really producing quite like I expected that they would be able to as well. So backline we knew was going to be young. Need some of your veterans to start showing up here in the big moment. So these last 27 minutes, I think at least for Clear Fork, this is a chance to try to prove yourself. No excuses at this point. You're settled into the match. You got to go out there and kind of prove that you belong in these type of big-time matchups.
Yeah, speaking of Beachy, that last replay we saw, I just think too much right there. Got to try and get the ball out. Give your other teammates an opportunity to move it around.
Undercut there that time from Walker. Julius, one of the unsung heroes, I think, certainly of this Madison team. Does a lot of the little things quite well. Rewarded with the last goal. I think we'll throw Owen Weichel into that mix too. Just have not really called his name much tonight. A kid that was a double-figure goal scorer last year. Oh, great move to the boundary. But it goes over the touchline, so Zach Davies, one of the rare juniors, getting some action. Check this out. Whoa! Just about a couple rotations too far.
Had a comment come in on YouTube from Cameron Swanstrom, who is making a bold claim to say that Randy Jamieson is the best player in the country right now.
Hey, it's hard to argue with what we've seen so far through 60 minutes. I mean, show me another kid that's out there outperforming this cat on Friday Night
You're
Football.
asking the wrong guy to show you these things.
Yeah, we're kind of all looking at the same thing here. So we'll leave it up to the research team after tonight to produce said other athlete. Oh, great ball. And here, let's see Randy cook.
Nice ball.
Come on, baby. On the money. Oh, just kind of got stuck, crunched under Grant's foot. And another solid save.
Almost right on cue. That was a rough look. As great pass, but just a touch. Easton Grant let him down.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was gorgeous. Should have probably been one touch with the left foot. Probably a goal to the backside.
Right there, that's your youngest player on the team. Just trying to get acclimated with this varsity team.
Whistle's going to favor Clear Fork. Foul number 6 now in the second half against the Rams. Not even at the midway point. Clear Fork quick on the restart. Knock it the other way. It'll be headed out of bounds by Noah Blust. So for Clear Fork, opportunity now to flip the field. Haven't had a throw-in really yet in the second half down in enemy territory. Nick Martin's got a strong arm, so see if they can produce. However, Coach Gailey sticking with 4 defenders back. And I think we're at the point of the match now when it's 3-0.
Get him up there.
At least one more player. Get another player up into the attack.
Here goes McCauley, just taken away.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, the MVP tonight has been Jordan Clark. Outside of West Bunnell, and you're like, he's allowed 3 goals. Yeah, but he's shut down quite a few really good looks as well. So each side, there's been a premier defender.
That's miles offside on that pass.
Yeah, Davies, one of the young players on the team, the junior, leaving a little early.
And that's just a statement to Madison because you're talking about a junior and he's one of your younger guys.
Kind of crazy. Let me actually look up and down this roster right now. They do have 5 sophomores.
I believe we've only seen one make his way onto the field.
So as you mentioned, and Coach Lord, I think, implementing the right strategy, you've got enough seniors to start all the way across the board. They've all been a part of the tradition of Madison soccer throughout their careers.
And they played together for so long.
Got to put them out there. And it's been super successful for them. Last year, that predominantly juniors, obviously, out on the pitch. So these guys have tons of varsity experience and That's why we're glazing them a bit and just really suggesting that this could be, I'm sure when the first rankings come out, this is a top 10 team in Division III, unquestionable.
Absolutely. And I would be really ashamed to not see that come to fruition. I don't know when that poll does come out, but I'm sure a couple of games will be under the belt of both of these teams. And even despite this loss for Clear Fork, now I'm not saying they would also be top 10, but they could definitely be up there as well. So where maybe not reaching the poll this time around, but later down the line in the season, they get some more wins under their belt. They can get into that conversation too. And they're going to be back at it pretty quick, Clear Fork on their side, because they're going to be holding their first home game of the year. You'll be there for their game against Kidron Central Christian.
Yeah, really quality team out of the MBC. One of those soccer schools does not have American football. As Wes makes yet another kick save. Probably the most I've ever seen in one match from a keeper before. Taylor loses it. Martin trying to shift it. Jude Gailey on the charge. Lost his footing. Coach's kid and a freshman.
Yeah, and as Madison kind of works from the back here, just to give you an update over in Ashland, it's a 5-2 game in favor of the Arrows over Ontario. So you talked about the youth they have and kind of some of the roadblocks they're going to hit to start the year, and Ashland's certainly one of those.
Yeah, Ashland, a much bigger school, I think, at this point than Ontario as well. So we've got a race for possession. One-on-one with the keeper. Back post. There it is. 4-zip. The Rams putting on a show, and it's a junior. Ashton Huffman breaking into the lineup for the goal. I'm sorry. Easton Grant, the sophomore, into the back of the net.
We could cut that in post.
Yeah.
So able to beat the pace. He had a rough touch in his last opportunity, but this time takes advantage of the opportunity and slots it in for the goal. Nothing much that Bunnell could do there, as open right past that defensive line that has been tested here today for Clear Fork. The youth showing just a little bit, but it is day one of the season. So Colts, they've got to go back to the drawing board, but of course this is a really good squad to take on in your first game of the year and see if they keep stacking up. Madison Rams up 4-0.
Yeah, I think what's really showing here tonight as well is Tim Lord, more than 20 years on the sideline, all seniors. 3 of these 4 goals have come after the halftime adjustments. So that lets you know, A, your kids are locked in. B, they know what to do with it. C, they've received some instructions that have certainly paid off here over these last 20 minutes of gameplay.
From a pretty darn good coach.
Walker tripped up, not going to earn a whistle.
Yeah, I think once he stepped into the box, they were going to kind of elevate what they needed to see to get a call. Maybe if that happened 5 or 10 yards back, they might have gotten a whistle, but nothing too much there to deserve a penalty. So this game's starting to open up a little bit. That Ashland game we referred to earlier also opening up at the 3-goal lead for the Arrows.
OCC showing out right now for the fellas. Put right back into the box and offsides. Wow. With that many dudes in the mixing bowl, tough to do, but it looked like Davies probably... I mean, the referee's 2 feet away. He's got a great look.
Yeah, it wasn't Davies. I believe it was that other player in the box that was just a little bit off. There's a lot of... People say game of inches about every sport. Soccer's definitely one of them.
4th offsides call against the Rams so far this eve. As we kick off the high school season, 25-26 school year officially underway here on the OH Report. Looking forward to having our biggest, broadest season yet. A lot more teams you're going to see featured on our airwaves this year. But certainly all of the teams that you've come to know and love and follow right here they're going to be available as well.
You know what? We've got time here. Brian, I want to just kind of break down all the sports we're covering here in the fall and just the teams you're most excited to see that we're going to be adding this season. And, of course, nice save there by Bunnell. And it's cleared away. But let's start with football, because that's what we're doing right now. The team that we're going to be adding this year, who are you most excited about?
Well, of our new teams, I really love Red Rider Stadium over in Orrville. So looking forward to seeing what type of product they have in Wayne County, and it's in that Principal Athletic League that we don't really mess with too much. So it's a new team. We're going to get an opportunity to see some other contenders in there, and just a whole new market for the OH Report, as that's just kind of left out in the open and wisely just knocked out of bounds. And then, obviously, in the Akron area, Stark County, Louisville. I mean, we don't know a ton about what we're getting into over there as well, but we'll have 3 football broadcasts, 3 volleyball broadcasts, so 2 brand new markets, new leagues entirely that you can see featured right here on the OH Report. And I want to give shout out to Travis Berardi for actually finding love and moving over into that area. So we're kind of moving some of our coverage area to accommodate Travis, and it's going to open things up for us to check out those 2 new leagues.
That's going to be exciting. Orrville, when they were back in the OCC, good defense there by Clear Fork, but Orrville back when they were in the OCC, when I was in high school, or in middle school more so, I got to go to the facilities there. Always spectacular. I'm sure they've gotten even better since I've been there.
They host a lot of playoff games for football. Watch them play Downton over there, I'm pretty sure, this year, as Martin ends up in a big collision. But it stays afloat here for Kel Berry. And wisely, he's going to set it down. We'll get a chance for Nick. Try to show off that cannon.
And then, of course, tonight's all about soccer. We'll have more soccer tomorrow with Edison taking on Crestview. That's another girls-boys doubleheader, just like today was. Cougars going to have a chance to really prove themselves. Edison, both on the girls and boys side, very solid. So excited to see them in action. The Chargers, team we could potentially see more coverage of on the OH Report down the line.
Yeah, nice ball. Threads its way through. It's loose. Bunnell can't squeeze it. But we've got a whistle and a shaken up keeper on the play.
They do call it a goal. So it is going to be 5-0. Or did
I thought they whistled the play dead.
I thought he was pointing the midfield to the spot.
So obviously, great fundamental pass. Oh, there it is right
shot
there.
to the back of the head. That's not going to be a goal.
Yeah, so Davies with the contacts of the boots to noggin. And we're going to allow a little bit of time here, I think, for West to try to shake it off. But he's a keeper. They're tough.
He's going to be okay.
It's like a hockey player, basically. So we're back to action.
And then back to talking about Saturday. Volleyball, tri-match going on between Clear Fork, Lucas, Northmore. I believe they've been doing that for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I think this will be year 3 that those 3 teams specifically have all gotten together, and they've kind of rotated around. So I think it's at the Cup Cave tomorrow, and it'll be the first time that it's been there so far. So plenty of live and free action coming up tomorrow here on the OH Reports. Your home for everything high school sports, not just in North Central Ohio anymore. We'll also be working with Margaretta this season. We've got St. Paul, every home football game for them, 3 volleyball games as well. We want to welcome in Western Reserve to our coverage area, and also Monroeville. So we've got half of the Firelands Conference now that we're going to be working with. And to your point, the Sandusky Bay Conference, probably going to see us moving up there and doing quite a bit more coverage here in the near future once the season rolls along, potentially for volleyball, maybe for soccer as well.
Yeah, I know in that northern area there are a lot of quality volleyball squads that we will be inheriting. Monroeville being one. St. Paul just made it to a state Final Four.
Sure did.
But back to Madison here as we're watching Clear Fork try to get something on the board. They're just up in the pressure, not trying to go down via the shutout today. And just the way that they're kind of pressing right now and the aggression they've added to their repertoire, getting a couple of cards in this half as we see a nice shot there. I like their chances to get one on the board here with 13 to go.
Get Finn McCauley here on this free kick. He's going to take dead aim. Pretty good shot at it. Just does hang over the top of frame right here. But in the second half, Jonathan, just the second registered shot for the Colts.
And to say that shot's a little bit of a stretch because that was quite a deep one. Deep effort.
So what I'm looking for personally here over these last 13 minutes or so is what I touched on about 10 minutes ago. I'd like to see some of these returning starters for Clear Fork get in a zone a little bit, find each other, at least create a couple of unique opportunities for yourselves, because it certainly feels like for Madison, not that they're complacent here, but they're not playing with the high motor energy that we saw up until about 10 minutes ago. They're a little bit taking their foot off the gas pedal, and certainly they can do this and they can beat you on any given counterattack. But for the Colts, can you fend them off, keep it at just 4 goals, and produce a little bit of offense of your own? The good news is that it's half price at the concession stand right now.
And I might have to leave you.
I know, man, I didn't even have no lunch today, so I might have to see what's on the menu here. As Walker whistles that one by the front of the frame, out of bounds. And another goal kick coming up. Hard not to be impressed with these Madison Rams so far here tonight. Everything that we anticipated, they've done a bit from every category. Defended really well. The few opportunities that we've really needed to see Jerry Wirtz be in a correct location, he has been. And offensively, we knew juggernaut.
Exactly.
Connectivity. All seniors. And it has really been on full display here tonight. This has been a showcase of a quality soccer team.
And it's also been a showcase of a quality night overall, just getting the spotlight on these soccer players and 2 good programs. Of course, Clear Fork struggling a bit today, but as you said, against a really quality Madison team that has high expectations this year. But just an overall good night, because we know that Fridays, bringing out the soccer goals here on this field are not going to happen often, if at all, the rest of the year.
Yeah, I believe Doug Ricker is in the next room. I will ask him after the match if there are any more games on the turf here. I believe probably the rest of the way they're probably going to be over on the grass.
But I can't blame them either, because they have a great facility here for soccer over at their field. So that's not a knock. I wouldn't say that's a demotion necessarily. It's just they'll get a chance to use a facility specifically made for them. That's not a regularity elsewhere.
Here we go, getting a triangle effect. I mean, a bit much behind that one, but it was a decent look. Lacey had to chase it down. But to your point, I think when I talk to athletes, if they have the option to play on turf or grass, almost unanimously everyone says grass.
Yeah, and it's a very valid point, and it honestly depends on the sport you play too, because sometimes because I'm thinking of some other teams that we cover that have just installed new turf fields.
Danville.
And Danville being one. But then we've also got the Mount Gileads of the world that decide not to go with the turf. They actually shy away from the turf and add that beautiful Bermuda grass that they have over there. So it's a pick and choose. And I know Mount Gilead doesn't have a soccer team, so I guess depending on the sport you play and depending on where you are and what your budget is, I would say it's probably a 60-40 split in favor of grass.
Here we go, high school athletes. Let's put it up on the board. Or if you're even a former high school athlete, do you prefer grass or turf regardless of sport? Certainly for the football players that I've talked to, they kind of like that grass. It's a bit more padding when you take those big contacts and hits. Maybe some of the skill guys when you're out in the open space. Turf's pretty nice to be able to have that. The footing is just always what it's going to be the entire time, whereas it might be a little hole as that's ripped into a hole, and Finn McCauley gets Clear Fork on the board. A great sign for the Colts. Digging deep here in the last 10 minutes, and they're able to hang one on the board.
And hey, what did we say? We knew Clear Fork was going to threaten at some point and get one on the board. Well, they did right there. They slimmed the deficit to 3, but outside of that extra goal Madison scored in this game, but both of these games in this doubleheader have been pretty close to carbon copies.
Just a nice hot shot there for Finn as well. Corner pocket. No opportunity for Jerry Wirtz to lay a finger on it. And we've got a 4-1 game. Probably a little too short on time for the Colts to really get some pressure on them, but another goal certainly makes this a much different looking game the rest of the way, and the Colts are going to have a throw-in on the way here deep in enemy territory.
So the Rams are going to have some work to do. Of course, still a lot of ground to make up for the Colts, but the Rams still got to play like they want it because Colts have made some crazy comebacks before.
Yeah, McCauley pushed in the back, so prime time set up just outside of the football 15-yard line. We'll see who they put on the ball. Looks like they've got Martin, McCauley. Finn just drilled one.
So this shot will likely decide whether this is going to be a legitimate comeback here or what we're going to see the rest of this game.
Cut that one a little bit too much, the 4-man wall.
But going back to our comments, a couple of comments have come in, and they're siding with grass, but one of them did say it depends on how you take care of it, because that's where I was alluding to with Danville, because they opted for turf because they couldn't take care of it because they had an awful Devil Dog game that pretty much ruined it for good and really started that conversation.
However, one of the greatest sporting events of all time in that Mud Bowl.
Yes. It was much worth the damage that was done.
Yes. Bringing it back for the shot right out west.
And then another take was that they also prefer grass, but it also depends on what you practice on. Because if you're practicing here all the time, say you're Madison, you're practicing on this field, you would probably prefer it just because that's what you're used to. But I know some schools that have the turf where they play Friday nights and then they've got a practice field in grass, and the transition can be a little bit rougher.
Good ball to the outside. 3-on-5 here for the Colts. Pocket picked, and Madison alleviating some pressure now. They got a couple players up top. See if they can find Davies. Funnel way out. Yeah, Madison's definitely got the best of both worlds out here. When you get into tournament time, more often than not, you're going to be playing on a turf surface, so the ability to come practice on turf regularly when you've been a grass team all year, pretty awesome. And so is this setup, but an even better defensive play, and then the hip check. Spillman just lit him up, and Swundow pushes this one wide.
Yeah, I want to see this again. I mean, that's clean. Awfully clean. Did not look pretty on the Clear Fork side. He's going to be feeling that one in the morning, but got to love the defense there for Madison. They're not letting anything else go away after giving up that one.
Kabuto Setzer was set down on that last play right there, just outside the 6. So Madison doing well to keep it at a 3-goal differential. Looking to close out Friday night football with an impressive lopsided victory. Snuck through a little bit, and looks like we had some lights that just turned out here on the near side, right exactly where they're about to be playing here.
Yeah, it looks like both sides of the field have lost light. Or no, my mind's playing tricks on me. I'm looking at the lights at the soccer fields, but
yeah, just down here in this corner, to your right on the picture, obviously they're playing in the shadows now. Yeah. So we'll see if this has some type of an impact.
But with 4.5 minutes to go in a 4-1 game,
just got to let it ride.
And it looks like Joey Walker wants them to do something about it. I'm sure they're working on it.
Well, electric bills have been really high at my house this time of year, so let's not discount the fact this is a doubleheader. AC's been roaming here in this press box as well. So I understand budget cuts all over the place.
I paid my first energy bill the other day.
Walker with some extra energy here. Buttle pokes it right back at him. Another nice save. And
hey, you know what? If the light was on, maybe that one would have gone in.
Oh, man, no Motel 6 down here in this right corner. Not leaving the light on for the Rams, who have pretty much turned the lights out here on the facility with their gameplay. Nice touch here by Walker, but just shutting it down, making it so that there's really no window of opportunity for Joey to try to sneak one in. And I think for Walker, coming off that extraordinary junior season, I looked at the stats actually today. Only one game last year that he did not have a goal.
Wow.
That's a wild stat when you're playing 20 games. Colts, Martin, right back at him. One-timer, and lofted well off target that time from Owen Weichel.
But all jokes aside about the light, great venue, great host today, and a great event as always. Of course, this was at the Colt Corral last year, bringing it here this season. It's just been a fun time seeing soccer start, I think, the right way, especially in north central Ohio. I feel like there's got to be everywhere around Ohio, kind of like the general areas, you've got to have at least one soccer game going on the first day of open competition. And these two schools have done their job in making that right.
Beachy weaving his way through traffic, beat two defenders, couldn't get through that last wave. And you talked about the venue. We do have confirmation here from Madison. They don't know exactly what match is going to be yet, but they plan on doing at least one more soccer game for the boys and girls here at StarTech Stadium. And why not? Though the soccer pitch, you can see it's actually just beyond that building right there. Well maintained. Beautiful grass, and they actually have legitimate bleachers. A lot of schools that have the football stadium and then the soccer field on the side, typically not a lot of seats to be had, and it looks like it's absolutely packed for every single game. Madison certainly can accept a crowd.
And that
out
plays
here.
into the mentality too. Like the fuller the bleachers that you see, it just feels that much more important. So it's kind of hard to fill things up here for a soccer game, although they've done a fantastic job. Great crowd on hand for both schools.
Oh, another kick save here for Wes, and Walker can't believe it, man. He might have just hurt his hand punching the goalpost. He has been so close. But as the old saying goes, no cigar here for Joey, and I don't know if he's 18 or not. Maybe he's allowed to partake, but actually, isn't that 21 now? Okay, yeah, they changed that a while back.
How long ago? Man,
Back in
where have
my
you been
day.
living?
Yeah. Shoot. But he's probably going to get himself a nice little victory. And that's what's most important on a night like tonight, kicking off the season in style. Just 40 seconds away from that. Nice creativity there for Martin. I think kind of a no-look chip shot, at least from our vantage point. Jerry Wirtz, maybe the best that we have here in Richland County. He has been up for the challenge here tonight. And here's Walker. Up and over the top, and he does find it in with just 14 ticks remaining on the clock. Perfect way to cap off the evening here for these Rams, and certainly Joey Walker.
And you could just see able to keep that streak alive that you mentioned earlier of scoring a goal in every game.
Except for one last year. I think that there was one game that he did not have a single, so off to a great start here, senior year. Let's keep it rolling.
But you can kind of just see how that Clear Fork line wasn't really ready to really battle anything there in the last 20 seconds, and that just snuck right through. And Madison will make it 5-1 most likely to end this game, as this is just booted up forward. And Colts, I think, are about done with this game.
And so are we. Each of the Walkers get a goal. Jameson with a couple as well. Throw a successful goal in there for Grant, and it is a 5-1 victory here for Madison. Really flexing here tonight in this battle of who we anticipate being the top two teams in Richland County. But we know who number one is with this 4-goal victory right here. Stick around as we still have plenty more to come, including an MVP interview. Gotta be Randy Jamieson tonight. The chef was cooking with all of the ingredients. He'll be up here talking to either me or Jonathan. Plus, we'll have stats, analysis, and close out opening night of our coverage. So keep it here live and free from StarTech Stadium. We'll be right back.
Looking for the best high school sports coverage in Ohio? You found it right here on the OH Report. From the field to the court, we've got it all. OH Report brings you local coverage like nobody else in the area, live and free. Follow OH Report now and never miss a moment of the action. Don't just watch, be a part of the game with OH Report, the future of local sports.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
I like being able to give back to the community, and just our teamwork is really solid. It makes it an incredible place to work because a lot of people enjoy what they're doing and want to help out.
You get to learn every day. You get to meet very unique people. I get to interact with everyone from the clinical staff to the administrative staff. Everyone has something to offer. It's kind of like a million puzzle pieces coming together to make one large, beautiful piece.
Every time that we walk in, we know we're going to walk into a place that's very clean, and when we walk in, we have a professional environment to come to. The reliability of Pinnacle is always on the spot. We've been with them 16 years so far. They're committed, they are professional, they are very transparent with their pricing, and they excel at meeting every goal and every need we have.
Friday Night Football is brought to you by some fantastic sponsors here tonight. Thanks to Panchos Tacos. Come on down to Panchos Tacos. Get the best food and drinks in town, located in Mansfield, Bellville, and now Mount Vernon. You can try their delicious tacos, rice bowls, fajitas, and of course margaritas after the game. See you soon, amigos. Thanks also to Mechanics Bank, Richland County's only independent community bank. Also thanks to Northwestern Mutual. For a better way to money, contact financial rep Jalen Reese and wealth management advisor Mike Cohen at your local Mansfield office. Also North Central State College. Shout out to them for providing individuals with the knowledge, skills, and inspiration to succeed in their chosen paths. Thanks to Avita Home Health and Hospice, providing high-quality community health care and improving the quality of health in families throughout their lifespan. And then finally, thanks to Pinnacle Building Services. Elevate your professional space with tailored cleaning solutions that promise unmatched quality and reliability. Final score, Madison 5, Clearfork 1. Your MVP coming up to the press box now.
By North Central State College. No better choice tonight than Randy Jamieson showing out Friday Night Football, coming out of the gate strong. 2 goals and an assist, the first 3 goals of the game to really put you guys out in front. So actually, let's just talk about being a senior, playing at home, Friday Night Football, great environment, coming out here and doing what you did at the beginning of the game. How important do you think it was to kind of elevate your performance, put yourselves in the lead?
You know, a lot of fans here. A lot of people expect a lot from us. You know, so it's always good to come out and perform how we know we should perform.
Expectations for this team probably never higher in Madison history. All seniors in the starting lineup, so uncommon, and plenty of you have been participating at the varsity level your entire careers. So check one box here to start the season. It has to be maybe a little bit of relief for you guys to go ahead, get it done, and especially in the fashion that you did.
100%, yeah. You know, first game's always so important, but we're always looking for that OCC. So next Tuesday, even more important game for us. You know, just keep playing as a team and expect the results that we think we should come out with.
And for you as an individual, I have the article pulled up right here from the Mansfield News Journal. 18 Richland County players to watch. They had you listed at number 1, the kid that they thought had the most potential. So to have kind of that on your shoulders heading into the season, what does that mean to you to be identified as a guy that we think that is going to be a primetime performer basically his entire senior campaign?
It's always good to have that on my record, but I think any one of the guys on my team could take that number 1 spot, you know what I mean? So to have that, I think one of the best teams that anybody on that field could be number 1 on that. It's pretty fun, you know what I mean?
Describe the connectivity. When you have this many dudes that have been playing soccer together basically their whole lives, how does that all function together when you're out on the pitch?
It's great, man. I look forward to every game with these guys. We've been playing so young together, you know. We do pretty much everything together, so the chemistry we have, not even just the guys that start, everybody that comes off the bench, the coaches, you know what I mean? Everybody's so connected. I mean, it's a true team out there.
Let's talk motivation. Excellent season as a junior. You get to the district championship game. kind of let one slip there in overtime. Has that been much of a talking point for your guys in fueling the early portion of the season?
100%. We know we should have won that game, you know what I mean? So that date's always marked on our calendar as one that we should have came out with, you know what I mean? So it's extra fire on our backs that we come into every game with.
You mentioned OCC, how important that is to you. What are some other feats or accomplishments that this team feels like you should make along the journey?
Obviously, going all the way, you know what I mean? Winning every single game, but got it one game at a time, you know what I mean? One practice at a time. Just keep going day by day, and results should show.
This is a team that typically you guys compete over on the grass. Got to be on the turf here tonight. We had a debate going in the comment section. What do you prefer as a player?
When our grass is 100%, I like our grass, but it's been got a little divots in it, you know what I mean? So turf today.
And then the pregame meal of champions, you were filling me in. Chipotle. How do you build? Do you do burrito or bowl, and what's it look like?
Depends. Sometimes I go bowl, like with the burrito.
Yes.
Then the bowl.
Yes.
Or sometimes I go the tortilla on the side, rip, you know what I mean? Dip in.
Just
how I'm feeling, you know what I mean?
I appreciate it, man. Well, really love the time that you've been able to give us here, and certainly the fans all got a treat here tonight. So before we turn you loose, greatest tradition the OH Report has, go ahead, look in that camera, give as many shout-outs as you want.
Mom, dad, brothers are Marines. One's in Hawaii, one's in North Carolina. He's in California right now. 2 sisters. And last but not least, God.
Always got to get the man upstairs in there. We've got some swag for you, courtesy of the OH Report. Couple of suckers that I took from Mechanics Bank today as well. So Randy Jamieson, your North Central State College MVP.
Thank you, guys.
Looking for the best high school sports coverage in Ohio? You found it right here on the OH Report. From the field to the court, we've got it all. OH Report brings you local coverage like nobody else in the area, live and free. Follow OH Report now and never miss a moment of the action. Don't just watch, be a part of the game with OH Report, the future of local sports.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
I like being able to give back to the community, and just our teamwork is really solid. It makes it an incredible place to work because a lot of people enjoy what they're doing and want to help out.
You get to learn every day. You get to meet very unique people. I get to interact with everyone from the clinical staff to the administrative staff. Everyone has something to offer. It's kind of like a million puzzle pieces coming together to make one large, beautiful piece.
Every time that we walk in, we know we're going to walk into a place that's very clean, and when we walk in, we have a professional environment to come to. The reliability of Pinnacle is always on the spot. We've been with them 16 years so far. They're committed, they are professional, they are very transparent with their pricing, and they excel at meeting every goal and every need we have.
Welcome back to Star Tech Stadium for your Panchos Tacos post-game report. I'm Brian Skowronski. This is Jonathan Langdon, and just a great overall experience here. Friday night football on the turf, big venue, large crowd, Richland County. 2 great programs going head-to-head here for the boys and the girls, of course, in the first game tonight. And I think that the #1 team that we all anticipated, regardless of gender, really showed out tonight in the Madison Rams.
And the Madison Rams killed it here today. And I think it's good also that both teams were able able to come out with a win tonight. Special night for the Clear Fork girls, putting on a good show against Madison, who we thought was going to be a really tough team this year, but Clear Fork really showed their way. And then, of course, just recapping, putting a bow on this broadcast. And, man, Madison, 5 goals. Able to get that last one there with the last couple of seconds. But outside of that, little lapse there from Clear Fork, I thought they did a solid job. It's just defensively, they've got some questions to answer now.
Yeah, very young on the back line, 2 new starters for him. So for Nate Gailey, probably he said he likes to go back and watch some of these games with the commentary, kind of get our perspective on things. Not that we really know what we're talking about, but when we talk about Madison being a really exceptional team, and Randy Jamieson hit on it too, that, yeah, he's the #1 player to watch in Richland County coming in. He was like, but there's probably 3 other guys on this team, and I feel the same way, that all should be in that same conversation. So just loaded from top to bottom. And to grow up in the fashion that these Rams did, took their licks as freshmen, pretty good as sophomores, elite as juniors, he said, all the way. That's kind of the message and the mentality of this team, and I think that they probably have the guys that can make that happen.
Yes, 12 seniors, 11 of which started today, and I'm not imagining that lineup's going to move very much this year. They're going to keep the same guys out there that have played their entire childhood together, and that's the recipe, it feels like, every single year for a champion. We saw River Valley in the MOAC last year with a senior-laden team really do some damage in the MOAC. In the OCC, we already know that Madison ran through that conference, but they've got even higher goals this year, as we heard Randy say earlier.
All right, let's take a look at the final stats of the night, brought to you by our friends over at Panchos Tacos, and really got lopsided in the second half. Clear Fork, very competitive. It was just 1-0 at the break, if you kids don't remember out there. And then Randy Jamieson happened early, only about 5 minutes in. He gets a goal to send it to 2-0. Only about 4 minutes later, he sets up Julius Walker for a goal. Then it was 4-0 10 minutes later. Finn McCauley did get one at about the 8-minute mark, and then Joey Walker, who was like the little engine that just never stopped. He tried and tried. I think he probably had about 8 shots on goal, finally landed one in the back of the net. But Madison, all the metrics, even the fouls, they were very aggressive tonight. They won just about all over the pitch.
And I think that aggressiveness that we saw from them early on in the game really rattled the Colts, because they went out in the second half. I believe those cards, for the most part, it got really physical in I'd say the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half. And
Facts.
When Clear Fork kind of saw that happening, they couldn't keep up with the physicality that Madison brought to the table. A little couple of frustration fouls on the Colts side. That's something they'll also want to address, is just staying composed in moments like this when you go down 3-0, potentially even 4-0, and you want to try to kind of keep your head and kind of try to stay close in the game. But that's something that we saw happen a little bit last year, especially when they lost to Worthington Christian in the playoffs. That kind of fell apart for them. Just when you're going down 3-0, you just got to keep focusing in, playing like it's 0-0.
So the good news for Colts fans is that they did never hang their heads. They were able to get a goal there at the end. But for Madison, boy, if you're Tim Lord, first off, you love the 56% on the possession. But what probably stat jumps out to me the most is that 12 of the 18 shots were actually on frame. So it wasn't like they were just lining up and doing missiles from 30 yards and in. They had premium looks over and over again. And if Wes Bunnell didn't actually have an S on his chest for a half of the game tonight, this very easily could have been a landslide, 8 or 9-0.
Yeah, and that's good on Clear Fork, because they know that they have a piece back there. He's so young, just a junior. He had such a good playoff run last season to help them get a district championship for the first time in program history. But Madison just amping up the pressure, and some of these other teams they're going to take on, they're going to get those 8-9-0 results, because that's just the kind of team they are. But credit to Clear Fork, keeping it a little bit slimmer than we maybe thought, just with the shots that we saw on goal today.
So we're going to see Clear Fork, the boys, back in action coming up early next week. We'll have the Clear Fork Lady Colts as well on Monday night. So plenty more soccer on the way, including tomorrow, where you've got the doubleheader over at Crestview taking on Edison. So before we close it out, quick initial thoughts on going back over to the Cougar Den and what we might be able to expect to see from them here in 25.
They lose a lot of pieces, both girls and boys, but Edison also loses the same. Edison, they had pretty solid years last year. I think it's going to be a fun, tight contest, specifically since it's the first game of the year and there's still some things to kink out for both teams, just like it was tonight. But of course, in this instance, one team was able to eventually run away with it with some adjustments at the halftime mark. I don't know if we see that in tomorrow's game, but we'll see. And you can tune in right here, live and free on the OH Report.
Yeah,
Crestview Edison.
Get your coffee together. Mr. Langdon will be on the call for that one, the doubleheader, and then Travis Berardi, 3 volleyball matches tomorrow. He is on the call for that as well, so the season is just heating up already. Opening weekend on the OH Report. It's going to do it, though, for our coverage here at StarTech Stadium. Really appreciate everybody out there that tuned in live and free tonight for each of our 2 games here in the doubleheader. Clear Fork with the win in the girls' game. Madison a dominating 5-1 victory here for the gentlemen. And all of our sponsors bringing you the live and free coverage today. That is how we are here, and we're able to do what we do at so many places because we've got the likes of Mechanics Bank and Avita Home Health and Hospice and Sutton Bank and North Central State and Panchos Tacos, Northwestern Mutual, all of these fantastic sponsors, including Pinnacle Building Services, combining to bring you the video coverage here tonight. And a very special thank you to the Madison Athletic Department out here. Top notch, really took good care of us, and hope that we can be back for more future broadcasts coming up in the future. But for now, for tonight, got to tuck these gentlemen into bed. They've got some early games tomorrow, and it's just starting on the OH Report. We are the future of local sports, and plenty of opportunities available for sponsorships. There is my email. My phone number is available all over our Facebook and the internet. Wherever you can find it, it's out there. Hit me up. Be a part of the community, and let's keep covering more teams. See you guys bright and early tomorrow. So long.